Well, howdy there, friend.
Hello there, Laura.
What's up?
I'm nothing. Good.
We are traveling. We're getting in our little drone spaceship in the Northeast. I can't stop talking about it because the drones.
Have you heard any? It's
the
been a little
drones
quiet the
continue
last
to
2
fly.
days. Are they
it's
still
not been
around?
quiet? They're right. I have a university in my backyard,
Yeah.
and they're hovering over the field, and it's not small manned aircrafts because they're flying in a circle.
Jeez.
And then they look like they're going to come down, but they don't. And then they kind of drift away, and then they come back again. So
Okay.
Kristen and I are still here. The aliens have not abducted us. Again, we said we were gonna do the podcast from the alien space drone.
We're safe so far.
If that happens. But we're still here.
We're here.
Christmas is almost, Hanukkah, the holidays, everything. Kwanzaa is almost upon us.
Mm-hmm.
So there's hustle and bustle. So let's get into the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Oh, Beverly Hills.
So we start out at Jenny Tilly's house.
Well, that was actually a lot of fun.
That was
wasn't
great.
it? I loved the doll from The Bride
Tiffany,
of Chucky.
because she played Tiffany
Yes.
in The Bride of Chucky.
Yes.
For a minute, I
Love
thought,
that.
because she's really so rich, I thought for a minute she owned that franchise, but she does not.
Okay.
However, I love that she had Tiffany, a.k.a. Jennifer Tilly's character in Bride of Chucky, had on a $4,500 Gaultier dress.
That's crazy.
Made for her. I'm sure it was made for the movie. I'm going to guess.
You think?
I don't know.
Okay.
But apparently I did do a little Googling, and it says that Jennifer Tilly's character has been trapped inside of Tiffany for the last 18 years.
Okay.
So who knows? Maybe Bride of Chucky's going to make its way back to the world. But in any case, she did talk about, I think it's just fun to talk about Jennifer.
Oh, about her and her houses?
And all of her money, yeah.
I
but
love
I love
it.
how she talks about it. She's just like, yeah, well, we
Very
have this place
whimsical,
in,
you know?
Yeah, we have this place in Malibu, but there's a ghost there.
There's a ghost there, so we don't go there.
And the ghost doesn't like them there.
Yes,
apparently.
Right. So they respect the ghost and they just let the ghost have the house.
So when I was doing the organizing in her house with my friend, she did not own the property next door.
Okay, maybe that's what I was going to ask you this.
Maybe she did own it, but there was no living in it. There was no. So I'm confused because they're not showing enough of the house. I'm confused. Is she still living in the house that I remember? Is this the new one that they're showing? Because that pool wasn't there. Like all of these things have been upgraded in the last 13, maybe 15 years since that whole organization thing.
So that was how long ago you went there to do the organization? It was 15 years ago?
Probably 2002 or 3.
Okay.
So something of, in there. And it's funny because what was I going to say about, they were showing pictures of her in her Vegas house and her.
Mm-hmm. So she has her house in Vegas.
And her boy, I'm surprised she's still dating this guy. She was dating him back then. I think his name is Phil Lack. He's a pretty good poker player.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a pretty big dude.
Yeah. Do you know how old she is? She's 66.
She's got to be something.
That actually surprises me because she looks younger than that. She looks good.
She's always had an appeal. I think,
yes,
regardless,
totally.
I remember watching old interviews with her and Tom Snyder, this interviewer who I loved.
Yeah.
He's since dead. He had the most giant hands, but he was so in love with Jennifer Tilly. And he'd be like, and it was back, it was really back in the machismo days. And he'd be like, God, I'm happy I'm a man when I'm sitting next to your Jennifer Tilly. And that's when she was like, va-va-voo.
Yeah, right.
And, really in her prime. So,
yeah.
So they're talking. Meanwhile, Sutton gets to the house. She looks like she just flew in right on a powder puff. What the freak was she wearing with the fluff on the shoes and the...
I don't know. Sometimes like I'll see her in a confessional and I'm like, oh, she looks good. It's touch and go with Sutton and her style.
Everything's touch and go.
Everything is touch and go, including her personality,
her mood.
Her mood.
She's up and down. You never know what's coming in the door with Sutton. You really don't. But then she's so freaking ass cool, and we'll get to it. But then she's so cool showing up at a U-Haul. Then I'm like, what
and she
cool
looked like
buddy.
that woman from the World War II ad.
Rosie the Riveter.
We got this.
Is
that what
this.
it was?
I think it was. But let's get back to their conversation a little.
Okay.
The diamonds and denim party. That's where Kyle's just having her diamond and denims. And
she's having, this is her first party without Mo.
Which is,
so she feels a little like sad about it. It seems.
Well, Dorit and the whole Dorit and Kyle thing. She was saying.
Yeah.
Jenny was like, "Well, I feel like I cleared the air a bit, but hold on. Here's what when Erika showed up to Dorit's house.
Yes,
she had another car. I wonder if she rents those cars.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, because she just in the first episode.
Was she driven? Maybe she arrived at. Oh, she drove,
and it looked like a black. Oh. It was some kind of black fancy sedan, bougie sedan. So I don't know if it was like a Beamer or a Mercedes. I mean, it
maybe
looked like
this was her second car.
It looked like a hot car.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute. She just in the first episode gave herself a Porsche SUV, not in the Porsche SUV.
Oh, okay.
So I was just wondering, I wonder if they rent them.
Oh, okay. Ooh, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, we got to like pay attention to her car more now.
I do. I pay attention to everything.
Yeah,
like,
you're good.
What's coming up?
That way, I did not notice that.
That's okay. That's all right. I'm sure it's something of that nature. So, where are you? Where's your brain at?
Well, my brain, I do want to go back to Jennifer's Bel Air home.
Sure.
And it was funny about the clock that was making that noise, and it belonged to Cher. Is that what she said?
I love that she just dropped that bomb. Like, that used to belong to Cher, the dinging. I wonder if she was like, let's make sure we're on the hour here because I want to mention that was Cher's clock. It just goes, but you know what? Jennifer Tilly does it in a cool way.
She's very cool. She seems unpretentious.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no,
she really is like quirky and funny.
She's kind of like Sutton. Not that I don't think Jennifer has that hot and cold to her. I think she's just always funny.
Yeah, always up.
Yeah, always just kind of in that ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Ha 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 mode.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But
yes.
Sutton, Sutton's a little nutty.
Sutton's a little nutty.
She's a little bit of a nutter.
She's a little bit volatile, as Erika said at the end of this episode.
Oh, that was great. Right
that was a good word to kind of describe her as volatile.
Wait, so Erika at the same time, or they're just cutting it at the same time. Erika shows up to Dorit.
Right. And Dorit made water.
Oh, she did make water.
Wasn't that so nice?
I wonder if she knows how to boil that water, too.
She put some lemons and limes in it.
She's
it was
like,
very
I didn't really
nice.
make water.
Yeah.
It's just, I've got
I made some
set.
water. But she's a mess, and she basically said that.
They're both so tired.
She's very tired.
Oceanside.
Oh, my God.
They're old.
That was a draining trip.
Just pissed. They're just tired from just sitting on their ass in Oceanside and doing nothing.
Yes.
So as they sit down and talk, Dorit hasn't spoken to PK now in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So that's pretty extreme from going from 5 times a day to not talking for 2 weeks. So he was really to nothing. But then does that mean that he hasn't seen the kids in 2 weeks? I mean, wouldn't they be co-parenting and talking about the kids?
I think for them, and I think the kids' lives, and I think Dorit has said this, like, if he doesn't see the kids for 2 weeks, like, that's normal for them.
I guess
he was in London and he was away and he's, around with come. He's out with his boy George. Boy George.
Yeah.
So I don't think that would rattle these kids.
Yeah, they're used to exactly what you said.
You know?
I guess so.
And then Dorit's like, or Erika, she's like saying, I want you to feel supported by this group. I know that you don't.
Yes.
But that's what I would like.
Yeah.
I think Erika's back in her cool mode.
She really is.
She's cool.
I'm enjoying Erika very much this season.
She just throws in her little
Well, she throws in some comic relief a little bit.
She's funny.
She's funny. And you kind of have to break it up because there's a tad of heaviness in this season.
Yes.
So you need her. I think you need Bose. Because Bose adds a little bit of lightness to this
Bose
too.
Is what
That's why I think everybody is loving her so much.
Bose is called fresh air.
She's fresh air.
Let's step out for some fresh air and you feel
some
better.
Bose.
That's Bose.
That's right.
But Erika can't imagine how hard it is to separate with small children.
Yes.
She went through it twice, which really says a lot about Erika's growing up. And growing up, I do have, but let's keep talking. But I do have a story about her therapist.
Sure. Because they show the therapist. Well, yeah, and that was one thing that she said that was true too. I think is she said when you're a child like that, you feel it, so you don't have to even say it.
You don't have the words.
You just feel it as a child that something's going on.
Right. Even our boys who aren't that verbal. They are verbal, but they're not.
Right.
They don't have the words that typical children have.
Right.
And they go by feeling on everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they can't, that's why they might cry still at because they just don't have the words to say, I'm upset, I don't feel good, I'm this and that, I feel, is there a fight? Is there this? You know what I'm just saying?
Yes.
So it's the same.
Yes.
It's the same thing.
Right.
So they're still talking and
yeah, I mean, well, also Dorit has mentions that Sutton is hypocritical. So now we see that the fight has shifted from Dorit and Kyle to Dorit and Sutton.
But
right, the
Sutton
fighting has kind of shifted.
You never know what you're gonna get, and she's waving her sisterhood scarf, and then she yelled at Erika. Erika yelled back at her because she's like, I pretty much was just saying to Kyle, like, I don't know if that's what she said. And like, what did she yell at her in the van? Did you get that? It was literally one line. They showed it.
Yeah. What did Dorit, excuse me, what did Sutton yell at Erika?
No, what did Erika yell at Sutton? She said something like,
I'm
thinking it. Or I said what you're thinking.
Oh, I said what everyone's thinking. That might have been it. Something to that effect. Right.
And then Sutton was like, we unraveled. What's happened to us? And she's not mad at Dorit.
Yeah.
She's not. And then, of course, as we mentioned, her antique clock started binging. That belonged to Cher. And that was basically it.
Yeah. So, I mean, Sutton is getting on my nerves.
Sutton
a little bit.
Again.
I was always kind of rooting for Sutton.
I
feel like Sutton was a bit of an underdog for a bit, and I like to root for underdogs. But this season, I feel like she's getting on my nerves.
She's annoying as all get up and get out in this situation.
Yeah.
And now, but with the Garcelle thing, now we come back here. She's coming up to Garcelle.
To help her
in
move.
the U-Haul. She's got Avi or Raji. What's it? Avi.
Yep.
But it's funny. She said she's looking.
So good friend there, right?
Yeah,
to help a friend move is a big deal.
But I thought was interesting. Garcelle mentions, and I picked this up, and the only reason I picked this up is because I used to live there. I lived in Los Angeles, right?
Right.
And she said we're driving things to the beach house in Oxnard, and I thought to myself, what an odd place for a beach house.
Do you know where that is?
I do, and I've never known anybody to have a beach house. So I actually Googled it, and it did say there are beaches all along Oxnard. It's just
Oxnard
north
a nice
of Los
town?
Angeles.
It's an hour away, right?
It's not ever something I would think about to have a beach house. I mean, if you think of beach house, you're thinking Malibu. You're thinking the complete other direction, Santa Monica. You're going south,
right?
Malibu, all down there. That's north,
right?
But it does say that there's plenty of beach there. So I never realized that because I used to go up to Oxnard. Like I had friends that lived up there. I used to go to the Target there. You know what I mean? It's not like a beach destination.
Okay, right.
So I thought, oh, how interesting. Maybe I got it wrong, but I rewound and it is somewhere. And then it would make sense because it says there's beach property up there.
Well, the house itself looks very nice, but it doesn't look like it's got these views.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't seeing like these beachy
That's what I mean.
views
It's
or
not
anything. So I see what you're saying.
Destination.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't, I mean, but maybe it's more up and coming now for beach.
And she was like, we bought this house to knock it down. So it looked like it was a total fixer. But either way, go Garcelle, right?
No, good for her. I mean, like the success that she has had. She's executive producer for her first movie.
Exactly.
I mean, she's got, it's wonderful. She's in a great place in her life.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, I thought it was funny also when they were loading I have two things, when they were loading the U-Haul. I thought it was funny that, when she says, well, first of all, that Garcelle has a Prada surfboard. I was like, right on. I'm like, maybe that was like a gift from somebody, but I was like, Prada makes surfboards? Like, what? And also she's like, Sutton's like, Avi's stronger than he looks, even though he's on the Ozempia thing. First of all, why are you outing Avi that he's on Ozempic? Second of all, bullshit that you don't know the name of Ozempic.
I know. Why would she say it like that?
Bullshit.
Okay,
Sutton.
right.
So you're living in Beverly Hills, where
everyone and their mother is on
Ozempic.
I don't think she's on it.
I don't
Maybe
think
she
is
is.
on it.
She's skinny.
But bullshit that you don't know the name, and boo on you for outing Avi.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, that's not cool.
I sometimes feel sorry for Avi. I do.
I do.
The way that she
deals with
him and treats him.
Bipolar Sutton all day. What? She must be like, hi, Avi, come sit down. Avi, get to work. You know what I mean? It's like both, But I thought it was funny that Sutton's got her Birkin and Garcelle's in the middle. And I love that Garcelle gave herself the sign of the cross when she left, because she's probably like, either Sutton or Avi is going to kill me, one of the two.
Yes.
Like, who knows? So anyhow.
So it looks like Garcelle and Sutton are talking about the robbery. Now, I wonder what made Garcelle think about that to bring it up.
Because I think Garcelle. Now, here's the thing where I think,
what do you think?
Garcelle's. This is a big deal. Like, we need to spend a minute on this.
We do.
I think Garcelle's stepping out of line by saying, look, because last year she alluded to the fact that Dorit knew.
And was that at the reunion? I can't remember.
I'm not positive. No, I think it was.
It was in the season.
I think it was in the season. I'm not positive. Any listeners out there know if it was in the season or at the reunion? I'm pretty sure it was in the season. And I was like, oh, that is a big accusation to throw.
I remember hearing it too, and I was like, that's really
But I also want to say that what she said this season rings a little bit truer. Again, she has not left that behind, but what she says last night was, she said that I don't think Dorit had anything to do with it, but I think somebody did, alluding to PK. And I have to say, as much as
there's conspiracy theories out there about this.
As much as, here's my take. As much as I think that that's not cool for Garcelle to say, there is a part of me that goes, she could be right. Like,
wow.
Because and she goes, I think Dorit was just in the wrong place, wrong time. But I also don't, if he did set somebody up to rob so they could get the insurance money, right?
Yeah.
If he did do that, would he really put his wife and his kids at risk?
Exactly. Unless he would have thought that they would. But how would they not be home?
That's what I mean. Like, if they were doing robbing at night, like have it robbed during the day when, the kids are at daycare or at school, Dorit's like doing duck lips on a ledge somewhere, taking a photo. She's just taking her, doing her influencer.
Yes.
Like not before bedtime unless they were just dumbos.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But I think that robbery happened like right after they had taped the reunion.
I think it
happened like the next day.
Yeah, it was.
So maybe, I mean, look, if we're being conspiracy theorists,
I don't know.
Could it be that, it was like planning to happen that day and it went into the next day? But this is a very serious accusation.
It is very serious.
And you got to be really careful about stuff like that.
See, I think
so if you have a feeling or a theory about that, you don't say it.
I think Garcelle's stepping over the line here.
Yeah.
I just do. And I don't know. And listen,
she's got to be a little careful.
Not that I would really put it past PK, honestly. Like, not that PK's a bad guy.
Yeah, no. But I think he's got a serious gambling problem.
Could I see it?
He's got a lot of debt.
Yeah. I mean, but
yes.
I think he loves his family. That I can pretty much say for
very
certain.
Much.
I think he loves his kids and he loves Dorit, and I don't think he would put them in that kind of thing. But again, desperate people sometimes do desperate things, and of course, all the conspiracy that's out there, right, of them doing this all for the camera. Mm-hmm. I mean, it does check out. I mean, they were fine.
However, now Kyle was on Watch What Happens Live.
Yes,
Did you
watch
it?
I saw the whole thing.
I think it was on there yesterday that she said a lot of robberies happen on that block.
Yes.
So it's like a thing
their
there.
house. Wasn't their house robbed?
It might have been.
Was robbed. All
her house
Birkins,
was robbed. Okay.
They weren't home. And that's when they got the big security system and the whole thing. They got a lot of her Birkins. They got a lot of stuff.
See?
They can be targeted. And by the way, we all know that Doritso is dressed in it, and she just brags how she plays retail all the time.
Yes.
So that is a big fat accusation.
It really is.
Yikes.
So,
and I really hope somebody tells Dorit and we see it play out during the season.
Yes.
Because this Dorit's not going to take that lightly. She's not going to take it lightly.
She's not taking anything.
I love it.
Anything. And I love it. She's on everybody.
Little skinny Dorit is just coming out with
who. I know.
All right. So next we roll into Erika talking to Dr. Jen Mann.
So tell me about the therapist.
Let me tell you who Dr. Jen Mann is, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh.
So actually, she is a friend of mine. Not a friend of mine. A friend of my very dear friend.
Okay.
She is, are you ready for this? She is the daughter, if you've seen Beautiful, the musical. If anybody's seen Beautiful.
I've always wanted to see this musical.
The Carole King musical.
Yes.
Her parents are, her mother's passed away, but the father is, I believe his name is Barry Mann. They are the most famous songwriters ever.
Okay.
They were the partners of Carole King and Gerry Goffin, her husband. So they've written so many hits that you can't even imagine. They read like,
really?
every time I close your eyes anymore when you kiss the lips.
Yeah.
You know, the one from
So the
Top
Righteous
Gun.
Brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no tenderness. What's the name of the song?
You lost that loving feeling.
They wrote that, and then a string.
Her parents.
Yes, her parents wrote a string of hits. They are big time, as big as it gets, songwriters.
Oh,
so I just thought that was a really
That's interesting.
Right. So she's
the daughter of these very famous songwriters.
They are. So if you've seen Carole King the musical, it's about her parents.
Okay.
And Carole King and her husband, who's her ex-husband, who's now deceased. The whole show is about them coming up and how they all wrote all these amazing songs, and they're these amazing songwriters. But they were the partners.
Wow.
So unbelievable.
That's a very interesting little tidbit.
Isn't that just an interesting tidbit?
Yes.
So every time I see her walk in, I'm like, oh my God, her parents.
Did you ever meet her?
You know what? I could cry because my friend who's friends with her one time said they were having a break the fast party on one of the Jewish holidays, right? I think it's, I forget which one it is, but they have a break the fast where you're fasting, and then you jump around to all these different parties.
Sure.
So my friend said to me, why don't you come to Dr. Jen's family's party?
Right.
And for some reason, it just never happened.
Okay.
And I went, are you kidding? Then I found out who her family was.
Yeah.
And I would have attacked her parents. I would have been like, oh my God. They wrote the song, who put the bump in the bump, a bump, a bump.
Oh, yeah.
The sham and the sham. But they've written, that's more obscure. I mean, they have written so many famous songs that are part of our fabric of our life.
Wow.
So just a little tidbit on Dr. Jen. So everybody, that's what I mean. Everybody in LA is something.
Yeah, they're something, you know what I mean? Or they're a relative of somebody, or
and
a child of somebody.
I remember, and we're going back to Beverly Hills after this, but I remember I had an orthopedist in LA in Beverly Hills, and he's like, hey, listen, my partner's going to come in. My knee was bad. He's like, my partner's going to come in. I got an audition. And I was like, are you shitting me? And he was like,
doctor has an audition.
Wait. And he goes, yeah. He goes, I'm a DAP. And I go, what's that? He goes, doctor, actor, producer. And he was like, sorry. And he's like, but most of my patients are whams, waiter, actress, models, So it's just funny. So there's a lot of DAPs floating. So I don't know that she's a DAP.
Okay.
But sort
of. She's
just
making
out
her
there.
way into reality.
So anyway, I outed
TV.
you, Dr. Jen Mann. But you should be
Well, she
proud.
does seem like a good therapist. I mean,
she's
she's been her therapist for a couple of years now,
I mean,
right?
she just should be so proud of her parents. So
Yes.
she's not saying it, but I will. Amazing set of parents there. Amazing songwriters. Okay, back to that. They talk about how Erika wants to have her place be glamour and peace.
Yes.
And tranquility.
Yes.
Good for her.
So she wants to rid all of the furniture or memory or anything of what she had from her prior life, right? And that's why she's kind of renovating
she's sort of redoing it.
Redoing
she tells
her house.
about the Sutton situation. And she's like, I like how Erika says, she feels left out a lot of Sutton, and then her personality flips.
Yeah.
Like, remember when she was pissed about that prank? Was that the prank where Kathy Hilton was doing, they cut to a clip of Sutton flipping out?
Yeah.
Was that the one where Kathy Hilton was doing the water shots? She
saying
she was doing these shots.
Yeah.
And everybody thought it was really vodka, but it was water.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And I think that might have been one of
that might have been
it. Was you in on the prank? Was I not in on the prank? You know what I mean? So
she does get frazzled, and her feathers get ruffled when she's like left out, or she feels slighted.
She's kind of like Uba from New York. Like Uba just gets triggered by everything.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, what is going on? What is happening? Anyway, but she was like, I'm not going to diagnose personality disorder. She's like, but I have one.
See, that's what I like about Erika. She kind of pokes it at herself too. She's not like just saying it about others. She kind of has a self-deprecating way about her. It's funny.
She does, but wait, I thought it was funny when Erika was like, I didn't get a pizza party.
A pizza party. Oh, God.
I was like, now she's wanting, but I thought that was funny.
I think it was like the principal because she was saying what she went through at that time was so horrible and nobody was there to rally around her as they are with Kyle. But I think she was kind of pointing it mostly at Sutton too.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think
look at how she was with me at that time. And look at how she's with Kyle.
It would have been nice.
It would have been.
I like how they mentioned the Lexapro and alcohol. I was like, yes, Lexapro and alcohol all day.
She was a hot mess for those couple of seasons.
She really was.
I mean, she really was.
When she was yelling at Sutton because she was like, what are you going to do about it? She was actually showing her teeth like an animal. Like, like, I'm going to bite your head off. And she's like, what are you going to do about it? And she's like, nothing. Nothing. Like, I'm not going to threaten you. That's when I was like, oh, poor Sutton.
Oh, and see, that was, and those times, I was really kind of like cheering for Sutton.
Me too.
You know,
I felt bad for Sutton.
I felt bad for her.
I did too.
But yeah, like I said, she's getting on my nerves.
So now let's get ready for the party.
Well, here's the thing I want to think, if you think this too.
Sure.
This Denim and Diamonds party, which was cowboy themed, was this a nod to Morgan? Because she's a cowgirl.
You know what I think?
I'm just sort of.
This is
even
what
though
I
she
think.
wasn't there, but her essence was there.
Interesting take. However, I think Kyle loves to wear her kemosabe hats. I think
she loves her cowboy hat. She said it's her crown.
Exactly. So I think she just loves wearing her cowboy hats. So maybe there is a little bit of a little wink.
Morgan.
But I don't even think Kyle's with Morgan. You never see them anywhere anymore. There's
Morgan apparently doesn't want to film. So like she doesn't want to be mentioned. She doesn't want to be filmed. She doesn't want any part of the Housewives.
At the end of the day, Morgan Wade, no one knew you before Kyle. Nobody's going to know you after Kyle. She put you in at least a Bravo household name kind of a situation.
Maybe she's got the name now a little bit, so she doesn't need it anymore.
As far as I'm concerned, you should film. You should kiss Kyle's butt. You should get there and ride her mechanical bull.
Of course.
Like, she really lifted you.
Yeah.
So
she did. I never heard of Morgan Wayne before this either.
I also thought it was funny that Erika said that she hasn't ridden a bull since her great grandma's funeral.
I was like,
when she said that, I said, did I hear that?
That's what I said.
Why was at her grandmother's funeral?
Her great grandma. Why was she having a mechanical bull at her grandmother? Was she like a famous cowgirl?
I mean, she's from the South. She's from Georgia.
Was she
one
of those, ladies in the old Revolution who would have like a shotgun?
Annie Oakley?
Yeah, Annie Oakley. That's who I was trying to think of. Annie Oakley.
Who knows?
Well, but here comes Camille.
Okay, you're not a Camille fan, right?
Not a Camille fan. I hated
Neither
her
am
outfit.
I
hated her outfit.
Yeah. Yeah, was she
horrible
dressed like?
Denim dump dress?
No,
like eek.
Yeah,
eeky.
She's just got that air about her that is just. I am so much better than.
I don't know. I don't hate her. I just feel like she's just like she's as Robert Jr. put it from Salt Lake. There's no seasoning.
Okay,
there's just no seasoning there. Like she's just no seasoning, no salt, no pepper, no everything bagel.
Yeah,
just. I like that Sutton brought her daughter Porter.
Oh,
Porter.
Her daughter seems so lovely.
Yes.
Just like a lovely delight. I mean, I'm sure all of her kids are. And listen, Sutton is probably such a wonderful mother. Yeah, I mean, she's a good
she's
person.
A nut. They're probably like, oh God,
she's just annoying.
She's mom again.
Yeah.
But I thought it was funny how Jennifer Tilly says that she's like, I'm the worst person to ask what I'm wearing to a party. She's like, I'm always going to be egregiously overdressed. She's like, if I have great clothes, I have great jewelry, and if I don't want to wear them to Starbucks, then I'm wearing them. Like, don't ask me what I'm wearing to the party. I'm always going to look just off the charts.
Now I forget, how did she looked good,
she
right?
Looked cute. She had a thing on. She just had a cute thing on, but it was just funny.
Well, you know who? Okay, because she's my favorite person right now. I loved Bose. Was she Barbie? She was Cowboy Barbie.
But she's
a vision to me. Again, I'm going to keep saying she really is a vision. Like when she walks into a room, everyone's probably like, "Whoa,
right? Who is this?
Who is that?"
You know what she is? Again, everybody, deep breath in.
Yes.
She is that breath of fresh air.
Yes,
she is bows. And she had just come from Portugal. Was that where they were?
Brazil.
Oh, Brazil.
Yeah, and she said her and her daughter went,
Brazil.
and every year her daughter has like a place they choose to go.
I love that.
It's so nice. I know. I'm really looking forward to hearing more about her family. But
now, I thought Dorit looked great. Did she have those Gucci pants
she looked
on?
fabulous.
But wait, I think Kyle threw some shade and said she was giving more of another vibe. Not she was giving more of a I forget what she said, like maybe more of a ranch vibe. I don't know.
I know she said that on Watch What Happened Live.
I forget what she said, and I was like, I thought she looked so good.
But she's not. Remember, she's not loving Dorit, so she's not going to give her a compliment, even if she wanted to. Maybe I don't know. I think Dorit always brings the looks, and she looked great.
So here again, but it was squelched on Watch What Happens Live, and I think it was squelched here because Garcelle was getting the angel number on her wrist, the 111.
Yeah,
which just means like
1111.
Yeah, like you know who got married on 1111? Kim Zolciak Bierman, a former Bravo Liberty, and Croy because it means like the best of luck, like the new beginning, like 1111 was like that's when they got married. Of course, now they're divorced, and
did the divorce go through already?
Everything's in foreclosure, and I don't know if it went through already.
He took like a blue collar job, I think, of some kind. The poor
I knew
guy.
he was going to spend. I knew she was going to spend all your money, Croy. I knew she was going to spend all your dough.
Yes.
So anyway, she's getting the 111, and she tells Sutton, and this. I have also a little bone to pick with Garcelle, but so many people say it. So she said she tells Sutton that PK, Texas, Kyle. They said people can't say texts.
Yeah,
it's a tough word, and everybody screws it up.
Yeah,
but
so
she
said
Texas, Kyle. Like it sounded like she was saying Texas, and I've heard so many people say that it drives me batshit bonkers. But anyway, I love Garcelle, so I'm going to let it slide.
No, we'll let it go with her.
But I think Sutton really doesn't say anything, and I think
she's kind of just like, well, like it was not a big deal.
And then, of course, on Watch What Happens Live, Kyle's like, look, I think that was salacious when Kyle said it. At the end of the day, Kyle said on Watch What Happens Live, which I thought anyway. She hasn't spoken to him in a long time. He would always send jokes, so they're
keeping it up,
sending jokes, and things like that.
Yeah.
So
and what did she say? She said PK's almost like one of the girls.
Yeah.
So it's like they just kind of go back, and Garcelle said, I still think it's weird.
She would care.
Think it's weird.
She would care. I do. Too.
Yeah.
A little.
I mean, any friend that you have, if they're going through a divorce and then you are texting with the husband, even if it's jokes,
right? It just seems a little.
It's a little bit of a
out
dig.
Of the way.
And it isn't being respectful to your friend.
Agreed.
I feel. So even though Kyle kind of brushed it off on Watch What Happens Live, I do kind of agree with Garcelle that it's a little weird.
I do. And Garcelle's like, it would not be right for me.
No.
I would not want that happening.
No.
Which is fine. I agree. I don't think I'd want you texting executive producer Steve.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If we were really on the outs.
Right.
It would be like, wow, what are you talking about? Like,
why are you doing
weird.
that? I think you just immediately know I am shutting that off and I'm being here for my friend.
And I love that Bose, Dorit and Erika are talking, and Bose thinks they need to have a tribal council. I thought that was
a perfect way to say it.
We need to have a tribal council.
Well, she said this tribal thing is not realistic.
Right.
Like, this is not realistic. These women don't go deep. They just argue.
Yeah, she's like, they argue stupidity.
Yeah. So they're like surface, kind of like mwah, mwah, mwah.
Honestly.
And then all of a sudden, something gets a little array, and then they're fighting. So
Bose
it's like,
is so cool and classy and smart and professional.
She's very smart. She's figuring it all out.
If she lasts on the show, I will be shocked.
I hope
I will be shocked only because she's above that. She's not going to I don't think she's getting in that mud. And I hope she doesn't, because she's too freaking cool for it.
Yeah.
And she's just too
smart and classy.
Badass for everything.
Yes.
So here's the part where they're all sitting around and Erika says to Sutton, "You're volatile." I was like, oh shit. I was like, is Sutton gonna just pop? Is she gonna just haul off and pop her?
Well, I think she just gets flustered. But yeah, she said you're volatile and inconsistent.
Oh my God. But I think she kind of and Dorit,
I love it though.
Dorit says, you raise your voice, And like then I'm just like, Sutton just a little cray.
Yeah.
Like she's just
Cry,
a little
cry.
crazy.
Yeah, she's a little
You
crazy.
can be, what I was trying to say was that we can be open and honest and it can lead, and it does, we can be open and that we don't have to hate each other afterwards.
Okay, all right.
Right?
Right.
But the best is when she was starting to get all heated,
Yeah.
Sutton, Dorit was right on. She was like, you can't be open and honest, so you can't lead the charge.
Yeah, exactly.
Because she gets herself she gets all hot and flustered and bothered. So Kyle's
but then,
like,
go ahead.
what's your point?
Yeah.
Kyle's like, what's your point? And she's like, we can be honest without hating each other and try to be kind and genuine, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. But as Bo said, it's not realistic. I
Right.
just don't see that can't happen.
But the way they went after each other in the Sprinter, I was like, Jesus, they barely even said anything. And Sutton's just so trigger.
Yeah,
And
she's
then-
triggered,
But
yeah.
when Sutton then looked at Dorit and says, you're not angry at me, Dorit, you're angry with your life. I was like, ooh, that's like, I feel like Dorit kind of kept her cool.
No, she did. And then
She
she had
did.
something really good to say in her confessional. She said, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
meet Sutton Strack, the woman who loves to support other women when they're at
their
their lowest.
Exactly, which is a bite and a dig and being sarcastic. But
Yes.
I think she's right, and that
She's
she
right.
doesn't really care about supporting me. She wants to look as if she's supporting me.
Yes.
And
That's exactly what I think it is.
and I think Dorit is spot on. And not saying that Sutton is not a care for her friends. I think she would.
Yeah.
But I think in this case,
Mm-hmm.
I think Dorit is spot on.
And I loved her response to Sutton. She said, my life sucks right now. She said it. She's
Zero
like, I am open
tolerance.
and honest.
And I
Yes.
have zero tolerance for more bullshit.
Yes.
She's like, that's me being transparent and open.
Yes.
I was like, go
Yes,
Dorit,
you
go
go.
Dorit, right? I mean,
Yes.
it was great.
Yeah. And really, there's not, what can you say to that?
And then Sutton's retort is, Dorit, I'm not angry with you. I raised my voice in the Sprinter because you didn't understand the bigger point. And she's like, I understood the bigger point. Like, in the thing. So it's just like,
I
and she's like,
understood
when we have a
everything.
moment, we can be friends after. We get it, Sutton.
Mm-hmm.
I think they all got it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Bose was great. When
Yeah.
Bose said, you can't weaponize.
Exactly.
Oh, leave
Yes.
it to Bose.
That was perfect.
That was
now,
great.
Bose came in kind of as a friend of Sutton. But she's siding with Dorit in this because she's siding with the right side. And Dorit is on the right side. So that's what I love
agreed.
about Bose. I mean,
Yeah,
she's
no,
great.
Bose is great, and she was and she was like, "Look, that is out of bounds
Yes.
for her to say." And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
and it also means more coming out of Bose's mouth.
It does.
because Bose is not in the muck with all the others. She's
Right.
brand new, and she's coming in just going,
Yeah.
calling what I see. She's just like an announcer.
Yes.
You know, she's like announcing the game. Like,
Yes.
and then there was this in the Sprinter, and then they yelling over here, and nobody's realistic, and you know, she's calling it. So
Exactly.
now we get to the C bomb
This came out
Dropped.
of left field.
heard
with
around
Camille
the world. The C bomb heard around Beverly Hills.
Well, Camille having to chime in out of nowhere.
Well, you know, that was her big moment.
I have to have my moment.
That was her big moment. Do you need the moment? That was great. Do you need do you need the moment?
No.
Well, she's like, I didn't really, when my house burned down. Now we're going back what?
Mm-hmm.
We're going back to almost the dinner party. I think
Yeah.
we're going back to like 2013 here. And she's like, I didn't get a lot of compassion from Dorit. And would you like to say it?
Yeah.
What she said, which was,
You're
You
a fucking cunt.
Camille, you were a total cunt to me.
That was it.
Oh, drop the C-bomb.
Whoa! And Garcelle is like,
C-bomb.
whoa!
Dropping the C-bomb. Oh my God. And I love that Dorit says in her confessional, she's like, once upon a time, I was upset that, you know, I used that term and that I joked with her. And she's like, now I think she's just a stupid fucking cunt. I was like, whoa, Dorit. I mean, because it was a joke back then.
Yes,
I mean,
it
they
was.
cut to the clip. You see the
Yes,
clip.
yes.
When she's like, oh, she's just a stupid cunt or whatever she said.
Well,
I can't
do you
believe I'm
know there's
dropping
a-
the bomb so many times. We'll forgive. That gets us our explicit rating.
Well, the little bit of the backstory of it is that when Camille was a friend of while Dorit was on, she did make a comment to Dorit about them not having money. Like I had a friend who said that, you guys have a lot of financial problems. I think that's the root of why they do not like each other.
Oh, Beverly Hills, that's the worst thing you can say about somebody. Are they shading a score? Are they shading of being needy? Are they fakers? Are they posers?
Oh, yeah. And this was like 5 years ago or something.
And then True. And then I also love that Doreen's like, what are you doing here? Mm-hmm. Do you need a moment?
Yeah.
Do you need a moment? What are you doing here? Just like, get away. It was how many years ago? And she was like, you've always been so condescending to me when you, whatever. And she's like, when you came to my house with her, and she's like,
my name is
Erika.
My name is Erika.
So she forgets Erika's name.
She forgot Erika's name. Oh, Erika was like, really?
Like, whoa.
You're going to fucking forget my name? And I like and I like Erika just, cunt. they just got to her, cunt.
So how many times have we heard the C word in this whole scene?
Oh my God. It's such the C-bomb. I generally try to always say the C-bomb without trying to say it because it's just such a gross word.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
I never like saying it.
I don't know.
Oh, but then also Camille is like, well, you're always taking selfies. And you're always late. You make people wait.
She's like, so what?
Yeah.
So what? Big deal. And why are you here again?
Yeah.
Do you need that moment? Because I think you do.
Yeah.
And then she said the comment about she cares more about looking like she's being supportive than actually being supportive.
Right.
And then we're out from the Denim and Diamonds party.
We are. I think that next week looks good. So.
Oh my gosh. Well.
More fighting.
Oh, Beverly Hills, you don't fail to disappoint. Mm-mm. We need more. We do need more Kathy, though.
Yeah,
I know we had a Kathy
was Kathy
themed
even
episode.
In this one?
She was like, she was there when she was getting her tattoo. She was like, "Oh, these are angel numbers," and kind of talking about it. But we always need more kooky Kathy. We need more brushing the teeth with the makeup brushes. We just need more. Is what we need.
I am very much enjoying Kathy. This
all right, and I really hope they get that on camera between Dorit and him. Them saying all that behind Dorit's back about PK being involved. Like the one who sent the robbers.
Oh, yeah.
That's a massive accusation.
I think even next week, it's going to come up about PK and Dorit and Kyle texting. And Dorit is fighting with her about that.
Oh, God.
So, yeah.
All right, strap in, everybody. Mm-hmm. Beverly Hills is in full swing.
Yes.
All right, well, no more C-bomb dropping. We're going to go out and look for more
We won't use the C word anymore.
We're going to go out and look for more alien drones here in the Northeast and North. So, again, we hope we don't get abducted.
Pray for us, everybody.
We will see you next week.
Yes.
All right, we are gone out from Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm. Good night, Kristen.
Good night, Laura.
Good night. All right, everybody, we'll see you next time.
Okay, good.
Thanks for listening. Australia, thanks again. Canada,
thank you.
All of our listeners in Texas, and we just are really growing exponentially. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it.
It means so much to us.
And all right, next time.
See you next time.
Good night.
Good night.